Lancashire, archaically the County Palatine of Lancaster, abbreviated Lancashire, is a county in northwest England. Although Lancaster is still the county town, the county's administrative centre is Preston. The county has a population of 1,449,300 and an area of 1,189 square miles. People from the county are known as Lancastrians. The history of Lancashire begins with its founding in the 12th century. In the Domesday Book of 1086, some of its lands were treated as part of Yorkshire. The land that lay between the Ribble and Mersey, into Ripamay Mersum, was included in the returns for Cheshire. When its boundaries were established, it bordered Cumberland, Westmoreland, Yorkshire, and Cheshire. Lancashire emerged as a major commercial and industrial region during the Industrial Revolution. Manchester and Liverpool grew into its largest cities, dominating global trade and the birth of modern capitalism. The county contained several mill towns and the collieries of the Lancashire coalfield. By the 1830s, approximately 85% of all cotton manufactured worldwide was processed in Lancashire. Accrington, Blackburn, Bolton, Burnley, Bury, Chorley, Colne, Darwen, Nelson, Oldham, Preston, Rochdale and Wigan were major cotton mill towns during this time. Blackpool was a centre for tourism for the inhabitants of Lancashire's mill towns, particularly during Wakes Week. The county was subject to significant boundary reform in 1974 that removed Liverpool and Manchester and most of their surrounding conurbations to form the metropolitan counties of Merseyside and Greater Manchester. The detached northern part of Lancashire in the Lake District, including the Furness Peninsula and Cartmel, was merged with Cumberland and Westmoreland to form Cumbria. Lancashire lost 709 square miles of land to other counties, about 2/5 of its original area, although it did gain some land from the West Riding of Yorkshire. Today the county borders Cumbria to the north, Greater Manchester and Merseyside to the south and North and West Yorkshire to the east, with a coastline on the Irish Sea to the west. The county palatine boundaries remain the same, with the Duke of Lancaster exercising sovereignty rights, including the appointment of Lords Lieutenants in Greater Manchester and Merseyside. History. Early history. The county was established in 1182, later than many other counties. During Roman times the area was part of the Brigantes tribal area in the military zone of Roman Britain. The towns of Manchester, Lancaster, Ribchester, Borough, Elslack and Castleshaw grew around Roman forts. In the centuries after the Roman withdrawal in 410 AD, the northern parts of the county probably formed part of the Brythonic kingdom of Reged, a successor entity to the Brigantes tribe. During the mid-8th century, the area was incorporated into the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Northumbria, which became a part of England in the 10th century. In the Domesday Book, land between the Ribble and Mersey were known as into Ripamay Mersum, and included in the returns for Cheshire. Although some historians consider this to mean South Lancashire was then part of Cheshire, it is by no means certain. It is also claimed that the territory to the north formed part of the West Riding of Yorkshire. It bordered on Cumberland, Westmoreland, Yorkshire, and Cheshire. The county was divided into hundreds: Amounderness, Blackburn, Leyland, Lonsdale, Salford and West Derby. Lonsdale was further partitioned into Lonsdale North, the detached part north of the sands of Morecambe Bay including Furness and Cartmel, and Lonsdale South. Modern history. Lancashire is smaller than its historical extent following a major reform of local government. In 1889, the administrative county of Lancashire was created, covering the historical county except for the county boroughs such as Blackburn, Burnley, Barrow and Furness, Preston, Wigan, Liverpool and Manchester. The area served by the Lord Lieutenant covered the entirety of the administrative county and the county boroughs. and was expanded whenever boroughs annexed areas in neighbouring counties such as Wythenshawe in Manchester south of the River Mersey, historically in Cheshire, and southern Warrington. It did not cover the western part of Todmorden, where the ancient border between Lancashire and Yorkshire passes through the middle of the town. During the 20th century, the county became increasingly urbanised, particularly the southern part, to the existing county boroughs of Barrow in Furness, Blackburn, Bolton, Bootle, Burnley, Bury, Liverpool, Manchester, Oldham, Preston, Rochdale, Salford, St Helens and Wigan were added. Blackpool, Southport, and Warrington. The county boroughs also had many boundary extensions. The borders around the Manchester area were particularly complicated, with narrow protrusions of the administrative county between the county boroughs. Lee's urban district formed a detached part of the administrative county, between Oldham County Borough and the West Riding of Yorkshire. By the census of 1971, the population of Lancashire and its county boroughs had reached 5,129,416, making it the most populous geographic county in the UK. The administrative county was also the most populous of its type outside London, with a population of 2,280,359 in 1961. On 1 April 1974, under the Local Government Act 1972, the administrative county was abolished, as were the county boroughs. The urbanised southern part largely became part of two metropolitan counties, Merseyside and Greater Manchester. The new county of Cumbria incorporates the Furness exclave. The boroughs of Liverpool, Knowsley, St Helens and Sefton were included in Merseyside. In Greater Manchester the successor boroughs were Bury, Bolton, Manchester, Oldham, Rochdale, Salford, Tameside, Trafford and Wigan. Warrington and Widnes, south of the new Merseyside, Greater Manchester border were added to the new non-metropolitan county of Cheshire. The urban districts of Barlick and Earby, Bowland Rural District and the parishes of Bracewell and Brogden and Salterforth from Skipton Rural District in the West Riding of Yorkshire became part of the new Lancashire. One parish, Simonswood, was transferred from the borough of Knowsley in Merseyside to the district of West Lancashire in 1994. In 1998 Blackpool and Blackburn with Darwen became independent unitary authorities. The Wars of the Roses tradition continued, with Lancaster using the red rose symbol and York the white. Pressure groups, including Friends of Real Lancashire and the Association of British Counties, advocate the use of the historical boundaries of Lancashire for ceremonial and cultural purposes. Geography. Divisions and environs Lancashire. The Shire County, controlled by the County Council, is divided into local government districts: Burnley, Chorley, Fylde, Hyndburn, Lancaster, Pendle, Preston, Ribble Valley, Rosendale, South Ribble, West Lancashire, and Wyre. Blackpool and Blackburn with Darwen are unitary authorities, do not come under county council control. The Lancashire Constabulary covers the Shire County and the unitary authorities. The ceremonial county, including the unitary authorities, borders Cumbria, North Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, Greater Manchester and Merseyside in the northwest England region. Geology, landscape and ecology. The highest point of the county is Gregareth, near Whernside, which reaches a height of 627 metres. Green Hill near Gregareth has also been cited as the county top. The highest point within the historic boundaries is Coniston Old Man in the Lake District at 803 metres. Lancashire rivers drain westwards from the Pennines into the Irish Sea. Rivers in Lancashire include the Ribble, Wyre and Lune. Their tributaries are the Calder, Darwen, Douglas, Hodder, and Yarrow. The Irwell is partly in Lancashire. To the west of the county are the West Lancashire Coastal Plain and the Fylde Coastal Plain north of the Ribble estuary. Further north is Morecambe Bay. Apart from the coastal resorts, these areas are largely rural, with the land devoted to vegetable crops. In the northwest corner of the county, straddling the border with Cumbria, is the Arnside and Silverdale area of outstanding natural beauty, characterized by its limestone pavements and home to the Leighton Moss Nature Reserve. To the east of the county are upland areas leading to the Pennines. North of the Ribble is Beacon Fell Country Park and the Forest of Bowland, another AONB. Much of the lowland in this area is devoted to dairy farming and cheese-making, whereas the higher ground is more suitable for sheep, and the highest ground is uncultivated moorland. The valleys of the River Ribble and its tributary the Calder form a large gap to the west of the Pennines, overlooked by Pendle Hill. Most of the larger Lancashire towns are in these valleys. South of the Ribble are the West Pennine Moors and the Forest of Rosendale, where former cotton mill towns are in deep valleys. The Lancashire coalfields, largely in modern-day Greater Manchester, extended into Merseyside and to Ormskirk, Chorley, Burnley and Colne in Lancashire. Politics. Parliamentary constituencies. County Council. Lancashire County Council is based in County Hall in Preston. It was built as a home for the county administration, the Quarter Sessions and Lancashire Constabulary, and opened on 14 September 1882. Local elections for 84 councillors from 84 divisions are held every 4 years. The council is currently no overall control, with the Labour Party leading a minority administration. Duchy of Lancaster. The Duchy of Lancaster is one of 2 royal duchies in England. It has land holdings throughout the region and elsewhere, operating as a property company, but also exercising the right of the Crown in the County Palatine of Lancaster. While the administrative boundaries changed in the 1970s, the County Palatine boundaries remain the same as the historic boundaries. As a result, the High Sheriffs for Lancashire, Greater Manchester and Merseyside are appointed within the Duchy and County Palatine of Lancaster. The High Sheriff is an ancient county officer, but is now a largely ceremonial post. High Shrievalties are the oldest secular titles under the Crown, in England and Wales. The Duchy administers bona vacantia within the County Palatine, receiving the property of persons who die intestate and where the legal ownership cannot be ascertained. There is no separate Duke of Lancaster. The title merged into the Crown many centuries ago, but the duchy is administered by the Queen in right of the Duchy of Lancaster. A separate court system for the County Palatine was abolished by Courts Act 1971. A particular form of the loyal toast, the Queen, Duke of Lancaster, is in regular use in the County Palatine. Lancaster serves as the county town of the County Palatine. Economy. Lancashire in the 19th century was a major centre of industrial activity and hence of wealth. Activities included coal mining, textile production, particularly cotton, and fishing on the coast. Preston Docks, an industrial port, are now disused for commercial purposes. Lancashire was historically the location of the Port of Liverpool, while Barrow-in-Furness is famous for shipbuilding. As of 2013, the largest private sector industry is the defence industry, with BAE Systems Military Air Solutions Division based in Wharton on the Fylde coast. The division operates a manufacturing site in Samlesbury. Other defence firms include BAE Systems Global Combat Systems in Chorley, Ultra Electronics in Fulwood and Rolls-Royce plc in Barlock. The nuclear power industry has a plant at Springfields. Salwick, operated by Westinghouse, and Heysham Nuclear Power Station is operated by British Energy. Other major manufacturing firms include Leyland Trucks, a subsidiary of PACCAR, building the DAF truck range. Other companies with a major presence in Lancashire include Airline Network, an internet travel company with headquarters in Preston. Baxi, a heating equipment manufacturer, has a large manufacturing site in Bamber Bridge. Crown Paints, a major paint manufacturer based in Darwen. Enterprise plc, one of the UK's leading support services based in Leyland. Hanson plc, a building supplies company, operates the Accrington Brickworks. Hollands Pies, a major manufacturer of baked goods based in Baxenden near Accrington. National Savings and Investments, the state-owned savings bank including premium bonds and lottery bonds, has headquarters in Blackpool. Thwaites Brewery, a regional brewery founded in 1807 by Daniel Thwaites in Blackburn. Exchanging, a company providing business process outsourcing services, with operations in Fulwood. The Foulnaze cockle fishery is in Lytham. It has only opened the coastal cockle beds 3 times in 20 years, and August 2013 was the last of these openings. Enterprise Zone. The creation of Lancashire Enterprise Zone was announced in 2011. It was launched in April 2012, based at the airfields owned by BAE Systems in Wharton and Samlesbury. Wharton Aerodrome covers 72 hectares and Samlesbury Aerodrome is 74 hectares. Development is coordinated by Lancashire Enterprise Partnership, Lancashire County Council and BAE Systems. The first businesses to move into the zone did so in March 2015, at Wharton. In March 2015 the government announced a new enterprise zone would be created at Blackpool Airport, using some airport and adjoining land. Operations at the airport will not be affected. Economic output. This is a chart of trend of regional gross value added of the non-metropolitan county of Lancashire at basic prices published by Office for National Statistics with figures in millions of British pounds sterling. Education. Lancashire has a mostly comprehensive system with 4 state grammar schools. Not including sixth form colleges, there are 77 state schools and 24 independent schools. The Clitheroe area has secondary modern schools. Sixth form provision is limited at most schools in most districts, with only Fylde and Lancaster districts having mostly sixth forms at schools. The rest depend on FE colleges and sixth form colleges, where they exist. South Ribble has the largest school population and Fylde the smallest. Burnley's schools have had a new broom and have essentially been knocked down and started again in 2006. There are many Church of England and Catholic faith schools in Lancashire. Lancashire is home to 4 universities: Lancaster University, University of Central Lancashire, Edge Hill University and the Lancaster campus of the University of Cumbria. 7 colleges offer higher education courses. Transport. Road. The Lancashire economy relies strongly on the M6 motorway, which runs from north to south, past Lancaster and Preston. The M55 connects Preston to Blackpool and is 11.5 miles long. The M65 motorway from Colne connects Burnley, Accrington, Blackburn to Preston. The M61 from Preston via Chorley and the M66 starting 500 metres inside the county boundary near Edenfield provide links between Lancashire and Manchester, and the Transpennine M62. The M58 crosses the southernmost part of the county from the M6 near Wigan to Liverpool via Skelmersdale. Other major roads include the east-west A59 between Liverpool in Merseyside and Skipton in North Yorkshire via Ormskirk, Preston and Clitheroe, and the connecting A565 to Southport, the A56 from Ramsbottom to Padiham via Haslingden and from Colne to Skipton, the A585 from Kirkham to Fleetwood, the A666 from the A59 north of Blackburn to Bolton via Darwen, and the A683 from Heysham to Kirkby Lonsdale via Lancaster. Rail. The West Coast Main Line provides direct rail links with London and other major cities, with stations at Preston and Lancaster. East-west connections are carried via the East Lancashire Line between Blackpool and Colne via Lytham, Preston, Blackburn, Accrington and Burnley. The Ribble Valley Line runs from Bolton to Clitheroe via Darwen and Blackburn. There are connecting lines from Preston to Ormskirk and Bolton, and from Lancaster to Morecambe, Heysham and Skipton. Air. Blackpool International Airport currently has no scheduled services. Manchester Airport is the main airport in the region. Liverpool John Lennon Airport is nearby, while the closest airport to the Pendle Borough is Leeds Bradford. There is an operational airfield at Wharton near Preston where there Iowa, a major assembly and test facility for BAE Systems. Ferry Heysham and Fleetwood offer ferry services to Ireland and the Isle of Man. As part of its industrial past, Lancashire gave rise to an extensive network of canals, which extend into neighbouring counties. These include the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, Lancaster Canal, Bridgewater Canal, Rochdale Canal, Ashton Canal, and Manchester Ship Canal. Several bus companies run bus services in the Lancashire area serving the main towns and villages in the county, with some services running to neighbouring areas: Cumbria, Greater Manchester, Merseyside and West Yorkshire. Demography. The major settlements in the ceremonial county are concentrated on the Fylde coast, and a belt of towns running west-east along the M65. Preston, Blackburn, Accrington, Burnley, Nelson and Colne. South of Preston are the towns of Leyland and Chorley. The three formed part of the central Lancashire New Town designated in 1970. The north of the county is predominantly rural and sparsely populated, except for the towns of Lancaster and Morecambe, which form a large conurbation of almost 100,000 people. Lancashire is home to a significant Asian population, numbering over 70,000 and 6% of the county's population, and concentrated largely in the former cotton mill towns in the southeast. Population change. Settlements. The table below has divided the settlements into their local authority district. Each district has a centre of administration, for some of these correlate with the district's largest town, while others are named after the geographical area. Areas part of the West Riding of Yorkshire until 1974. This table does not form an extensive list of the settlements in the ceremonial county. More settlements can be found at category towns in Lancashire, category villages in Lancashire, and category civil parishes in Lancashire. Historic areas. Some settlements which were historically part of the county now fall under the counties of West Yorkshire, Cheshire, Merseyside, Greater Manchester and Cumbria. Boundary changes to occur before 1974 include Todmorden entirely to West Riding of Yorkshire in 1889, Mossley entirely to Lancashire in 1889, Stalybridge entirely to Cheshire in 1889. The former county boroughs of Manchester and Warrington both extended south of the Mersey into historic Cheshire. Correspondingly, the former county borough of Stockport extended north into historic Lancashire, including areas such as Reddish and the Heatons.